So students, in previous classes, you already studied about the processes of digestion, circulation, and respiration, which you have studied in your previous classes. Okay, so these processes are essential for the survival of every individual. Okay, so reproduction is essential for the continuation of a process. Okay, so if someone said to you that what is the importance of this reproduction, it is essential for the survival or continuation of a species. Okay, so I already make a few videos on that topic. So in your book, okay, few things also given here, so we will discuss about it. As you know that you have to fill the table also in your book, okay, whatever lesson we have already read. So if you see in table 9.1, okay, so animal young ones, okay, so as you know the humans young one are called baby. So someone knows from you what cat's young one said, what we say cat's young one. Okay, good. It will be written as kitten. Okay, and for dog, butterfly. Hmm. Good. Hen, it is written here, and cow. Yes, calf called calf. Okay, and for frog. Okay, okay, very good. So we already read about the different modes of reproduction. Okay, uh, in plants also and in animals also. Okay, so in class 7th, as you already said that you read about it. Okay, you have to you read about the reproduction in plants. Okay, you will remember that plants that reproduce sexually have male and female reproductive parts. Can you name these parts? Can anyone name? You already say na that in class 7th you already read about it. So what are the male reproductive organ of plant and female reproductive organ? So I told you that in case of plant.
So male reproductive parts are endometrium.
Yes. And
Flower.
yes, yes,
Sir,
you are right.
gynoecium.
Yes, very good. Okay, so you know that whenever the fusion of male and female gamete occur, it is said to be sexual reproduction. Okay, so in humans, you already read about. I already make these topics. Okay, and you already read about it. So in this your NCRT book, okay, one new thing is given about the test tube babies. So you have to know about it. Okay. So Bujo and Paley's teacher once told them in the class that in some women oviducts are blocked. Okay. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for hours for IVF, okay, or in vitro fertilization. Okay, it is known as in vitro fertilization. Fertilization outside the body. Okay, it occurs. Fertilization occurs in the outside the body. In case fertilization occur, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother's uterus. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. Okay, babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tube. Okay, it is just name given. Okay, as you can say that fertilization occur in test tube. That's why. Okay, so you understand about the external fertilization and internal fertilization. I think I make a video on that in earlier class from the different book. Hmm. So we already discussed about it. So Vivipary and oviparous, I already make a video on that. I think, I hope you will be see that. Okay. So something is new is here in this chapter, that you have to try to observe eggs of the following organisms, that is frog, lizard, butterfly or moth, hen and crow or any other bird. Were you able to observe eggs of all of them? Make drawing of the eggs that you have observed. Okay, whatever you can try to observe these. Okay, in your outside, or nowadays you can easily see them. So the eggs of a few animals are easy to observe because their mothers lay them outside their bodies. These are examples of oviparous animals. But you would not be able to collect the eggs of a dog, cow or cat. This is because they do not lay eggs. The mother gives birth to young ones. These are examples of viviparous animals. Now you can easily understand the difference between oviparous and viviparous animals. So now we read about how young ones changes to adult. Okay, the new individual which are born or hatched from the egg continue to grow till they become adults. In some animals, the young ones may look very different from the adults. I recall the life cycle of silkworm. Okay, in class 7 you read about the life cycle of silkworm, in which egg is first converted into larva or caterpillar, then to the pupa or adult. Okay, observe the different stages of frog. Okay, you have to also observe the different stages of frog starting from the egg to adult stage. We find that there are three distinct stages, that is egg to tadpole, and then for its larva, you already know that, called tadpole, and it metamorphoses to into adult. Don't the tadpole look so different from the adults? Okay, can you imagine that these tadpole would someday become frogs? Similarly, the caterpillar or the pupa of silkworm look very different from the adult moth. If you see the structure, okay, this is the life cycle of a frog. Okay, it lay eggs, and its early tadpole stage is here. Then it is called late tadpole. Okay, it looks so different from this frog, but it eventually convert or metamorphosis to into adult. Okay, featuring that are present in the adult are not found in these young ones. Then what happens to the tadpoles or caterpillar? Okay, thereafter you must have seen a beautiful moth emerging out of the cocoon. In the case of tadpoles, they transform into adults capable of jumping and swimming. The transformation of the larva into an adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. Okay, now what about the changes that we observe in our body as we grow? Do you think we too undergo metamorphosis? In human beings, body parts similar to those parent present in adults are present from the time of birth. So about sexual reproduction, so far we have learned about reproduction in some familiar animals. But what about very small animals like hydra and microscopic organisms like amoeba? Okay, do you know how they reproduce? Let us find out. Okay, I think we not discuss about hydra and amoeba in last classes. Okay, so you can see that budding in hydra. You have to make a permanent slide if you find. Observe them using hand lens or a microscope. Okay, look out for any bulges out from the parent body. Count the number bulges that you see in different slides. Also note the size of the bulges. Draw the diagram of hydra as you see it. Okay, compare it with figure 9.11. So you can see we already discussed about the reproduction in hydra. Its you can say these bulges are here, and the one part of its body get grows into new young one. Okay, and when it completely you can see that when it completely becomes new hydra, then it detached from the parent. In each hydra, there may be one or more bulges. These bulges are the developing new individual, and they are called buds. Okay. Recall the presence of buds in yeast. In hydra 2, the new individuals develop as outgrowth from a single parent. This type of reproduction, in which only one single parent is involved, is called asexual reproduction. Since new individuals develop from the buds in hydra, this type of asexual reproduction is called budding. Okay, you can see in amoeba, okay, this type one parent cell is here. Okay, it divides, its nucleus is start dividing. Okay, it's first is dividing and it convert into two, then two daughter amoebae will be formed here. So it is called binary fission in amoeba. Okay, so you have already read about or learned about the structure of amoeba. You will recall that amoeba is a single-celled organism. Okay, it begins the process of reproduction by the division of its nucleus into two nuclei, as we already discussed. This is followed by division of its body into two, each part receiving a nucleus. Finally, two amoebae are produced from one parent amoeba. Okay, this type of asexual reproduction is called binary fission. Okay, but the story of Dolly the clone, you already read about it. You all see this video, students. Fertilization results in the formation of zygote. Okay, which begins to develop into an embryo. Okay, you have to see in figure also in your book. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. The cells then begin to form group that develop into different tissue and organs of the body. This developing structure is termed as an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the cell wall of the uterus for further development. Okay. The embryo continues to develop in uterus. It gradually develops body. So you can see in figure also. Okay, it is a developing embryo is here. It is the uterine wall. Okay, uterus wall is here, and you can see this is the developing embryo is here. So parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, etc. begin to develop here. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a fetus. Okay, when the development of the fetus is complete, the mother gives birth to young baby. Internal fertilization takes place in hens also. But do hens give birth to babies like human beings and cows? You know that they do not. Okay, then how are chicks born? Let us find out. Soon after fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard shell that you see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. Okay, after the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. You must have seen the hen sitting on the egg to provide sufficient warmth. Did you know that development of the chick takes place inside the egg cell? During this period, after the chick is completely developed, it bursts open the egg cell. Okay, I hope you will be seen somewhere it in animals which undergo external fertilization. Development of the embryo takes place outside the female body. The embryos continue to grow within their egg coverings. After the embryo develops, the egg hatches. Okay, So you must have seen numerous tadpoles swimming in ponds and streams. So in this chapter, main keywords, what you know that you read about the asexual reproduction, binary fission, budding, about eggs, embryo, external fertilization, fetus, internal fertilization, metamorphosis, oviparous animals, sexual reproduction, sperms, viviparous animals, and zygote. Okay, so key the meaning of these keywords, you have to understand these all things when you read this chapter. Okay, if someone asks to you that what is budding, so you have to give your answer. So these things are important. In the last of chapter, what you have learned, there are two modes by which animals reproduce. There are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Second, reproduction resulting from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. The reproductive organs in the female include ovaries, oviducts, and uterus. The reproductive organs in male include testes, sperms, ducts, and penis. The ovary produces female gametes called ova, and the testes produce male gametes called sperms. The fusion of ovum and sperm is called fertilization. The fertilized egg is called a zygote. Okay. Fertilization takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. This is observed in human beings and other animals such as hens, cows, and dogs. Fertilization takes place outside the female body is called external fertilization. This is observed in frogs, fish, starfish, etc. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the walls of uterus for further development. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts are identifiable is called fetus. Okay, so all main definition are given what you have learned till now. Animals such as human beings, cows, and dogs which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Animals such as hen, frog, lizard, and butterfly which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. The transformation of the larva into adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. The type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. In Hydra, new individuals develop from birds. This method of asexual reproduction is called budding. Amoeba reproduces by dividing itself into two. This type of asexual reproduction is called binary fission. Okay, this is a very long chapter for you all students, because in this we include the reproduction in plants also. Okay, as your per your syllabus, okay, given by the school. So we have to also learn about them, and I also discussed in previous classes with you with the help of videos. So in this chapter, I think question answer are completed. How many